Hi, I'm Doc Jenni. Join us in the Green Hornet as we travel the back roads of beautiful North Idaho. Every day is different, challenging, and never boring as we see all the farm animals, big and small. Hey, you are off the road today with Dr. Jenni. We've worked hard all through breeding season, and today Carolyn and I are hitting the trail with some of our good buddies and spending the day on our own horses for a change. So we thought it'd be a good opportunity to talk about some of the safety things from a veterinary standpoint and a horse owner standpoint that we like to think about when we head out on the trail. So today we're doing a pretty big loop. We've got a 12-mile loop that we're doing today. We've legged the horses up over a period of time as we've been able to, but we like to get the horses out on the trail on a couple of small rides before we attempt anything this big. It's important, you hear people talk about how it's just a trail horse, and in my mind, especially the kind of riding we do out here in the mountains, having a horse that is safe and solid underneath you is one of the most important things. And then taking care to make sure that you are prepared should the worst happen while you're out far away from more help. So we like to be prepared by having our horses legged up and ready to go on the ride, and that they're well trained and able to handle the ride as well. So we have with us today, there are, 6 of us today, guys? Carolyn's horse, Rita, the big draft cross, is the youngest horse on the ride today. And then we've got Chico, who's pretty well experienced, and then a smattering of other horses with different levels of experience on the ride. When we have a young horse like Carolyn's young horse that got out on the trail today, we like to make sure that we've got other very experienced horses that can provide a safe environment so that we can get the horses all safely through all the obstacles. So we're halfway through our ride at this point, and we've got another probably 6 or 7 miles to go. The horses are all resting. It's taking their lunch break. We've loosened their saddles so they've got a loose cinch, and they're all taking a little break to air up. We'll also check their saddles and all of their gear to make sure we don't have any rub spots or sores or anything like that. Worst thing I can think of is to get done after a 12-mile ride and then find out that your saddle was rubbing, or you had a piece of tack that didn't fit right, or something was causing a sore on your horse. So you want to be sure and check all of your tack anytime you stop to air up, just to make sure that everything is working properly for your horse. So we are stopped for lunch. Kit's getting a chance to air up a little bit. He's actually done pretty well on this ride. I like to go over all of my tack to make sure that I don't have any spots that are creating a rub sore or a rub mark. Everything seems to be fitting Kit really well. When my horse gets very hot and very sweaty, sometimes I will take the saddle off at lunchtime. But for him today, he actually, for that first 6 miles, he didn't do too bad. So I'm just feeling all up under the saddle, make sure there's no places where he's stiff or sore. And then go down his legs, make sure everything looking good there. We didn't have any fracases as we were on our ride today, so he did pretty well. But you want to go over all of your tack and make sure everything is fitting the way that it should. So from a veterinary standpoint, there's several different things that can happen while you're on the trail. Obviously, any of the cuts and scrapes and bruises and things like that can happen anytime you've got your horse out, but especially on terrain that they're not familiar with. I think one of the most important things to remember, again, is about conditioning. And I can speak from experience. When I was a youngster, I think I was probably 17, I decided that it would be a lot of fun for me to take up endurance riding with my horse. And so I decided we were going to go climb a mountain. And I pushed my horse up this mountain and ended up creating a condition called rhabdomyolysis in horses, which is basically what they call tying up, where all the muscles are cramping. If you've ever had a really bad Charlie horse, you'll know that those bad muscle cramps can be pretty painful. Not only that, the toxins that are created by the cramping of the muscles can cause kidney failure because they build up in the muscles in the horse. So making sure your horse is well conditioned and you're not overriding him is really important. Listen to what your horse is telling you. If your horse is getting tired, if your horse stops sweating on the ride, even though the exertion is still going on, or if they begin stopping a lot on the trail, or shaking. If you can get off your horse and palpate them all over, rub those muscles. If your horse is experiencing a tying up episode, then they will be really tight all over. You'll be able to feel those muscles cramping. About the only thing you can do at that point, especially if you're on top of a mountain, is to give your horse some time to rest, get them to calm down a little bit. You can try massaging the muscles and then get off and slowly walk them out. When they get back, it's important that they receive IV fluids in order to flush all those toxins out of their system. So conditioning, when you're doing the kind of riding that we like to do, these 12-mile loops with lots of mountains and lots of hill climbs, keeping the horses tuned up and making sure that they're able to be ridden up that kind of terrain and are in a physical condition to handle it is really important. All of these horses have been legged up and ready for this ride and have done a lot of riding like this. So we're taking care of them today. Another condition that we've run into out on the trail is basically a stress colic. So it can happen from horses getting too dehydrated or from just stressing themselves out on the trail. And so again, conditioning really helps. Listening to your horse, knowing when to push them and when to let them rest. But that's one of the reasons why we always take some Banamine with us on the trail. And I do encourage my clients that are doing a lot of backcountry riding to have some anti-inflammatories that they can take with them. I like to use the paste Banamine because it's easily portable. You don't have to worry about the glass breaking. It can be given orally, and you can make sure that the horse gets the entire dose because it's a paste and you can see it. Whereas with the liquid, you don't know if they've have gotten all of it or if they've drooled it out of their mouth. So I do like the paste a little bit better. But the signs of colic are going to be the similar out on the trail as they are when you're back at home. If the horse is trying to lay down and roll or kick at their belly, or sometimes on the trail they just don't want to move. So you want to be listening to your horse out on the trail, making sure that you are aware of those problems as they come up. So it's important when you're out here on the trail to always be thinking about safety, always, always, always. And so when you're with a group like this and we have horses with different levels of experience, we like to keep a good, safe distance between all of the horses, if at all possible. So our horses all know each other pretty well, but we still like to keep at least a good half or more of a horse length between us and the horse in front of us. We allow plenty of time for the horse that is going over the obstacle, say if it's a log or a bridge or a water crossing. We allow that horse some time and some room to go over the obstacle so that they're not rushed, so they don't feel like they're getting left behind. So we support the other horses on the trail to make sure everybody's going through it carefully. There's been a couple of obstacles that I've chosen to get off of my horse kit in order to get over them, and there's definitely no shame in that. You want to make sure you can keep yourself and your horse as safe as possible and make the experience good so that you can live to ride the trail another day. Hey everybody, thanks for riding with us in the Green Hornet today. This is Doc Jenni signing out. If you like what you saw, be sure and follow us in the Green Hornet with Tormund, out on the road with Doc Jenni. Just click the link below and follow us along on our journeys. See you later.